What is up, everybody? Rez back here with Rez's Reptile Room, and today we got a good video for you. What I have in front of you is Azula's new Bioactive setup that we're going to be building. The first thing that I want to do is I want to show you everything that I have laid out here that's going into this Bioactive setup. So let me go ahead and set that up, and I'll go ahead and show you guys. So what I have here is the BioDudes Leopard Gecko Kit. Pretty much brings everything you're going to need. And then everything else I got separately, but I'll have everything linked down below for you guys. But the BioDudes kit comes with a thing of sphagnum moss, some leaf litter, the Terra Sahara. It comes with 4 bags of those, 3 pieces of cork bark. It comes with 2 plants, 2 of these succulents, and then I bought this aloe vera as well. Just because you get flat rate shipping if your order is over a certain amount, and that aloe vera pushed me over, so I got that. And it comes with this BioShot, which jump starts your bioactivity in your soil and stuff like that. Then we got some springtails from Josh's Frogs, and then I actually bought his springtail culture kit so I can culture my own. And then I'll show you guys right here. We also have some powder orange isopods, and I'll go ahead and pause right here and then open them up so you can see them. Right here we got these powder orange isopods. Bam, right there. Cleanup crew for me. So got them locally here. I'm going to be using these guys as well as the springtails to hopefully be my cleanup crew for this setup. Then we got this piece of tile which I'm going to use as a basking spot. I ordered a ceramic heat emitter. So I'm going to be using that as well as a heat mat, but I also have this heat mat thermometer, yes, it's thermostat, my bad, so actually we can keep the heat mat in check because I'm going to be using both the heat mat and the ceramic heat emitter to actually keep that hot spot nice and warm for her. So yeah, let's get right to it. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to start by adding the Terra Sahara and my handy dandy knife. So we're going to go ahead and add, like I said, they gave us 4 bags of this stuff. I'm just going to put it directly in here to not make as much of a mess. Just cut that open. And we're just going to pour it straight in here. Bam. First bag. Oop. There's the first bag. I think I'm going to use 2 bags, but I'm not sure. But before that, always practice safe mixing. Don't want to dirty my hands, so I'll be putting on this glove. Mix that around. And yeah, I think that 2 bags should be enough for. Alright, so where were we? Before my camera decided to be full of memory, we're on our second bag here. So we're going to go ahead and dump that out. Like I said before, I don't know if I remember saying it before the camera cut it or not. But yeah, I'm going to end up using 2 of these bags, I think. It did come with the 4. But honestly, I think 2 is more than enough substrate here. And yeah, this is way more than enough that I'm going to be needing. And then I can actually use the other 2 for Mushu. So Mushu, watch out. It looks like you're getting yours here soon. Next, what I'm going to do is, it actually says to add some of your sphagnum moss. This is a lot of sphagnum moss. I'm probably going to use, again, half of it, and then share the wealth with Mushu. So I'm going to use half of this, mix a quarter of it in here with that, and then I'm going to make Humid hide with the cork bark that the kit includes. So let's go on to mixing this with some water. But before that, actually, I'm going to actually mix some water into the actual substrate itself. So let's mix. Alright, it says you don't need too much, so you see it pooling there, and then we're going to just mix it around. They said that the substrate is really good at holding that moisture down at the lower levels and not keeping it up at the higher levels, but we just want to make sure it's nice and moist before. So yep, just like that. Maybe we'll add a little bit more here. Man, make sure that all the substrate in there gets nice and moist on the bottom level. Just like that. So The bottom level is good. Then what they do in the video, it does come with instructions, which I can go ahead and show you guys if you want to see them. They're right here. I'll zoom in later, but then it says to add the Bioshock, but in the video, the dude himself goes ahead and mixes in some sphagnum moss, so that's what we're gonna do. Let's cut right to that. This is the amount I put in here. It's gonna be about 1/3 of the bag here, and then we're gonna go ahead and mix water into that, and not too much, but enough so that the sphagnum moss gets all wet. Oh man, I'm making a mess in here, but oh well. So we're gonna go ahead and mix that in, and then we're gonna add it into the actual enclosure. So we're gonna go ahead and keep mixing this up. Maybe add a little bit more water here. Just mix it up in here. And what this does is it helps with the humidity factor. Again, we don't want it too humid, but that's why we're going to mix it in with the substrate. Create that nice level of humidity in there. This might actually be all the sphagnum moss that I need for the kit, for this actual enclosure. It might be all the sphagnum moss I use, actually. Move this water out of the way. Move my junk. I'll run this stuff over. And yeah, let's go ahead to mixing. Okay, I almost forgot another thing that I want to add in here extra that's not in the video or in the instructions is some of this activated charcoal from Josh's Frogs. This is from his kit for the springtails, but it's some activated charcoal. I'm going to add that in there for the springtails that I'm going to be putting in here. Mainly I'm going to be putting it on the humid side, and I'm going to just mix it in here. Just mix that stuff in. Mix that in there, and then yep, let's get it all in there. All right, so the next thing we're going to be actually doing is setting up our humid hide area, and I did go ahead and add some more sphagnum moss here because I just want this area to obviously be the humid hide area. Don't worry, she's not going to be going into the enclosure today. I'm going to give it a few days to kind of like settle, maybe a week. See how the temperature is doing here, but I'm spraying this back corner, which is obviously going to be my humid hide area. Okay, all sprayed down, spraying down the sphagnum moss area here, flattening that out. Alright, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a thing of cork bark right here. And I would like to build like a little tunnel there using these cork bark that I got. Got 3 pieces, and I think I'm going to go ahead and use this one. Go ahead and push that stuff down in there. Go ahead and set this up here. And then I'm going to use this smaller piece that I broke off and kind of just hold that piece up there. Kind of making like a little cave system here. Or she can go in there. And yeah, I actually dig that a lot. This little cave system here. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys. Right through there. Can you guys see it? This is her little humid hide cave that I'm building for her there. Yep, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to move into the next part, which is going to be her warm area, her hot hide area. This is what I have so far. I took out the big piece of tile because it was taking up too much space in the tank, and I put these smaller pieces of tile as like a little walkway from her little humid hide to her warm hide. She wasn't using her warm hide that I had in her temporary enclosure, so I went ahead and took that. She is using the cork bark piece that I want to put in here as her cold hide, so I'm not going to disturb her from that. I'm going to actually leave that there so she can continue to use that as her cold hide, and then I'll move it over once the time comes. But I think this is looking good so far. I think the last thing that we have left to add is there's one more succulent which I'm kind of debating on seeing where I want to put it, or if I want to save that for Mushu. And then there's also the springtails and isopods that we still have left. So let's kind of get to that part. Okay, so far so good. Everything's looking good. But what I want to do now is we're going to add our cleanup crew. So let's go ahead and pop them in here. So set them right here, and then I'm going to go ahead and you take the little cork bark that they're all hiding underneath. Be free, my guys, be free. Be free. Wake up. Scatter around. Scatter around the enclosure. I can even leave this little piece of cork bark there for them. And there should be some more in here. Oh wow, there is a ton of them in here. And I'm just going to go ahead and plop them all in here. Should be a little isopod corner right back there. Set them right here. Got this guy stuck in the water dish. Help him out, get out. Yeah, and then there should be some more in here for sure. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try my best to actually keep these guys in here. I'll leave that piece in there, and I'm going to use another small piece of cork bark that I have in here. And I'm going to actually try to have my own little culture of springtails, or not springtails, isopods. So that's what I'm going to do with that. So they're running around here, getting used to their new enclosure. There's plenty of them already in here. Fortunately, some of them are climbing up the side of the enclosure. But when we have the lid on, they won't be able to escape. So go back down. You too. Back down. Yep, there's that. Okay, so now that we have the cleanup crew in there, the next thing we're going to do is add the leaf litter for them. Leaf litter is very important, not only for them, but for the leopard gecko herself, so that she can have some stuff to hide under as well. But go ahead and we'll sprinkle some of this around. Really get it all over the place in there. Put it on top of the hide. Hide their two little pieces there. And yeah, just kind of sprinkle it all over the place. And make sure my little steps here are visible. But yeah, get the leaf litter everywhere. Crumble it up, it doesn't really matter. It's gonna get eaten anyways by the isopods. Just don't want it in the water bowl for now, or forever really. And yeah, just like that, just get all the leaf litter in there. Really big pieces. And yeah, put that back. And there you go. It's kind of a little cluttered in here, but it doesn't really matter if there's a lot going on, because again, it does not matter. She's going to utilize all of this to kind of hang out and whatnot. The isopods can't even see them no more. They hit so dang fast. But yeah, overall this is pretty good so far. What are you guys doing over here? Go down. Got some isopods back there. There's plenty of other places for you to go. You don't have to go over there. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay, so in my larger springtail culture, the kit that I built came with, well, it came with a 12 ounce, but they didn't have it, so I got this 32 ounce. And I poured these guys into this big one with some more charcoal. So a lot of them are in here, so I'm just going to take some of these guys and I'm going to put them in there now, just so they can start going before I add Azula. So that's what we're going to do with a little spoon. And we're just going to add them in there, and then I'll show you guys them when they're in there. I added one of those, I added the springtails in there. Hopefully they're going to do good. If not, when we put her in there, I'll be sure to put a little bit more, just because I don't even know how to check if they're doing all right or not. I put them a lot in the humid side. I know they prefer that humid weather more, so I put them a lot by like the humid hide. So we'll see, and then I'll put some more in from my other culture whenever that's time. But for now, let me just show you guys what I got so far. Hope you guys like it. But that's gonna wrap it up for this video. That's a bioactive enclosure for a leopard gecko. So see you guys next time.